Colorado High School Activities Association football is on Morgan County's B106 and B106.net. Coming up tonight from Legion Field in Fort Morgan, the visiting Northridge Grizzlies take on the Fort Morgan Mustangs along with Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde. I'm John Beltran. The Mustangs will be kicking it off here. The opening kickoff is brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. Looking to find insurance for your car, home, or even for you, call Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance, locations in Brush and Fort Morgan. They can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions or provide a quote. A pretty deep kick fielded at the 5-yard line, running straight to the 20, and now a seam to the outside of the 25 and down and taken out of bounds at the 33-yard line. And that is Kaylor Warner, their top receiver that you mentioned, and already a good return there of 28 yards. And the Mustangs are going to have to be a little bit better on special teams. But then again, Brian, this is a night that, you're going to pay the price for a hard hit.
That's for sure. And they got to keep an eye on Warner. He's had a touchdown on a kick return this year too. So he had an open spot there, but the Mustangs closed it down on him.
Well, you did a good thing of not mentioning that before the kickoff. So your timing is excellent. 1st and 10 for Northridge, lining up on the right side of the field at their own 33-yard line. Got a decent crowd for such a frigid night. And are we looking at another pistol formation? We've seen a lot of those. Trips to the left. One receiver to the right with one setback. 5-step drop. Spinning to his left is Eben. Hokenadel coming with pressure, and he's going to be taken down as Hokenadel and others bring him down at about the 30 or 31-yard line. John needed a little bit of help, but he was the first Mustang in on the play. And the loss is going to be about a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down and about 12, almost 13 at the 31-yard line. Excellent pressure by the Mustangs, and that defense has allowed just 7 points in the last 10 quarters.
Yeah, he looked like he came through there unblocked, and that's what they need. They need to have him run for his life.
2nd down along 12 from their own 31-yard line. This time trips to the right with one setback. This will be a give and a hit behind the line of scrimmage. Man, stuffed. Isaac Linker and a couple of others were in on the play. And that's Jonathan Morado, who I've got listed as a senior. And the loss is back to the 28, a loss of 3 for Morado. Now it's 3rd down and about 15, and talk about coming through untouched. That was the case right there. They couldn't block any members of that Mustang defense that were around the football. It'll be 3rd down and 15 for the 28. Jeff Fulton, the head coach of the Grizzlies, assisted by Mark Moorhead, Gage Osthoff, Joe Goldman, Ben Lundstrom, Jacob Vargas, Bill Dudley, Dave Van Otterloo, and rolling to his right, Eben, still rolling. He's got plenty of time. He throws on a run along the sideline. That is complete, short of a 1st down to Warner at about the 41. That's a gain of 13. They needed 15, so it'll be 4th down and 2, but
got a flag on the play over on this close sideline. I'm not sure just what it was.
Wonder if that's a warning, a sideline warning, because
I think it went.
Oh no, it's illegal formation. Okay, I didn't see the flag at all. All right, so that nullifies a pickup of 13 there. You figured they would have punted on 4th and 2.
Yeah.
With that Mustang defense as stout as they are. Now the football is just past the 23. Now it's about a 3rd and 20. Mustangs have been playing outstanding defense here in the last several games. On 3rd and 20, man in motion to the left is Lunsford. And back to throw is Eben, looking to his left, throws off his back foot, incomplete. The receiver was cutting towards the middle in Tanner Clark, and that was thrown well behind him towards the Mustang bench at the 30-yard line. And the Grizzlies will have to punt. And let's see if Fort Morgan can make this a short game. Get out of here by pretty much 9 o'clock like we did last week when the Mustangs went to a running clock. This team is more talented.
Yeah, we'll see how the offense comes out tonight, see if they're on track tonight and see if they can get on the score. It should be a short field unless this kid gets a good this is Chance Eben. Looks like it's the kicker also.
He does a lot of everything for this team, so to speak.
Well, he just called an offsides on Fort Morgan.
Yeah, that's we don't need senseless penalties like that. When you line up offsides, well, now it's a 4th down at about 15 for Northridge. I mean, that's a very controllable penalty, the easiest one to control. But they might be going after the football. High snap, and the ball is loose. It's in the end zone. Eben's going to land on it. And what do we have? Once again, it's a safety, one of many safeties that the Mustangs have been involved with this year, whether it's on their end or the opposite end. And with 9:50 to go in the opening quarter, Fort Morgan leads 2-0. I think that's 5 safeties this year. 3 against the Mustangs and 2 with the Mustangs, if I remember correctly. Brush, and now here in this game against Northridge. And Holy Family was able to get a safety. Berthoud got a safety, and Meade got a safety. So,
yeah, well, it's a good way to start it. We get points without having to have the offense. Now we'll get the ball kicked off to us. So, good start for the Mustangs.
Yeah, so they're up to a 2-0 lead. We're going to keep it right here while they receive either a kickoff or a punt. Well, and again, everything is different when it's cold.
Yep.
Including there the snapping of the football. All right, so now Northridge to kick it off.
I think our kicker is Drake Holdren. That might have been who was in there before. It looked like a 2, but I think it's number 7.
All right, so Holdren will kick it away at the 20-yard line. That's the rule after a safety. Boots that football high and fairly deep. It's going to bounce inside the 35, and now we got a flag down and illegal procedure against Northridge. Man, they are coming unglued here in the early going.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
The opening points of the game for Fort Morgan brought to you by Cargill Meat Solutions, committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and improving products and processes. Learn about Cargill's story of commitment at cargill.com. All right, so the Mustangs here with a 2-0 lead. And now the kickoff will be from the 15-yard line. Brian, let's hope there's more flow to this game than what we've seen so far.
That's for sure.
Because these 2 minutes and 10 seconds have taken a good 5 or 6 minutes just to play.
Should come up with pretty decent field position.
This is a very short kick. Fielded at the 48 of Fort Morgan by Garcia, running to his right, stutter stepping to his left. A seam to the 45 in Northridge territory, down at the 44-yard line.
Great field position. This is the ones they need to take advantage of when they're in positive territory. They need to take it down and put it in the end zone.
Well, do you remember last week, Brian? They had the ball at the 44-yard line, and they went to the air on the very first play, if I remember correctly, or the second play, and it was a touchdown pass from Linker to Trey McBride, lining up under center. We could see a lot of this tonight. 1st and 10 from the Northridge 44-yard line. Linker hands it off right up the gut. That's Hokenedel inside the 40 to about the 38. Some strong running by the senior. The gain is 6.
Yep, lining up right away.
2nd down and 4 from the 38. Right up to the line of scrimmage. Rolling to his right, pressured, throwing on the run. The pass is going to be incomplete. It's underthrown. Lots of pressure applied to Linker back at around the 50-yard line, but it was underthrown, intended over there. Looked like Juan Lopez McBride was also around the football. 3rd down and 4 to go. Yeah, the Mustangs, knowing that Northridge is kind of cheating up to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they had a lot of people up within about 7 yards of the line. I see Sterling Sharp tailback in now.
3rd down and 4 from the 38 of Northridge. Under center, Linker hands it off. Sharp, he's held short, well short. He was pinned down around the ankles at the 37-yard line. A gain of 1, and a Grizzly is down. Yeah, that was a violent fall to the ground. That means somebody made some solid contact, but getting up slowly now is Jose Lara. But that gain is only 1 for Sterling Sharp.
Yeah, he's coming off a little gimpy.
Yeah, I mean, you see the way he went down violently there.
Yeah, we may not see him the rest of the night. We'll see how he, especially in this cold weather.
Yeah, well, the official gain now, they backtracked the football, so really no gain to the 38-yard line. 4th down and 4. 2-0 Fort Morgan in the early moments here of the game. Limited crowd tonight, as frigid as it is, but a decent crowd on Military Appreciation Night. 4th down and 4 for the Mustangs at the Northridge 38-yard line. Backs it an eye under center. Linker with a hard count. Hands it off right side. Hokenedel. He drives to the 35. They're pushing the pile. I believe he's got a first down with some help inside the 35 to about the 33. It's a gain of 5, and there was some major assistance on there.
It was Danny Navarez.
Yep, it was Narvaez, 3-5, not 3-6, that picked up the first down. Nice job by the sophomore and the other backs to assist him along the way.
Yeah, he got some assistance there to get that last couple yards there, but strong run in there by the sophomore.
3 in the backfield. Hokenedel, McBride, and Narvaez under center from the 33. McBride is in motion to the left. Now he resets. Linker under center. He's going to roll to his right. Throw wide open. The pass is dropped. It is dropped at the 15-yard line, closer to the 10, by Juan Lopez. That would have been a touchdown. He was well behind the defense.
Yeah. It looked like he had a chance of it. He was kind of backing up there, but it looked like he should have been able to come up with that, but couldn't quite.
Well, the pass was a tad high, but really, it's not easy to throw in these conditions. I'm sure he thought that he had to come up with that football, and now Northridge takes a timeout. 2-0 Fort Morgan. 8:18 to go here in the opening quarter. And the Mustangs with some excellent field position. And Harrison Chisholm, probably knowing that he could run the football down Northridge's throats, realizes that to prepare for next week, you've got to establish some balance, as he really has the last 3 weeks.
Right, yeah, and that's kind of what he was saying last week. It was kind of like a live scrimmage against Thompson Valley, so which worked out well. As you said, this is a step up in abilities here, so, but they've been able to run about when they want to, so we'll see what they come up with here on 2nd and 10.
And 2nd down and 10 for the 33-yard line of Northridge. The Mustangs looking to extend a brief 2-0 lead. Out of the pistol, Linker pitches right to Hokenedel. Stutter steps back to the right side, breaks out of a tackle inside the 25. Still driving. What a run to about the 19-yard line. He could have been held to a very short gain. And instead, Hokenedel picks up 13 yards and a Mustang first down.
Yeah, he was hit just past the line of scrimmage, and he fought his way down for a first down. That was great running on Hokenedel's part.
Out of the pistol, 1st and 10 from the 20. Now in the red zone, one setback. Linker this time will keep the football. Stutter step to his left, but he's got nothing. He's driven back, and now we got a flag down. Not sure what that was about there.
Yeah, I didn't see what it was. Both linesmen called it against Fort Morgan.
Yeah, they're going backwards here, and it's an illegal formation against the Mustangs. Oh, they're declining it. So it'll be a gain of about a yard. Tough enough to stop this offense. 2nd down and 9 to go for the Mustangs at the 19-yard line of Northridge. Linker again out of the pistol, awaiting the snap with one setback. Play action. Rolls out to his left. Still rolling. Will throw towards the end zone. The pass is going to be incomplete. Yeah, hard to see from here. We're completely shielded, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, it was had great defense down there. He wasn't open. Who was he going to? I think he was trying to hit Garcia there, but I think McBride was right in the area too. Had too many defenders in there, but not open. So brings up the 3rd and 9.
And 3rd down and 9 from the 19. Mustangs right at the middle of the field there. Again, out of the pistol, trips to the left, and Linker's rolling that way, throws underneath. The pass is caught at the 15-yard line. That's Garcia inside the 10. He's got a first down.
Yep.
Let's see where they spot the football, but it's a gain of at least, you think, 12 yards. He might have gotten to the 6. In fact, a gain of 13. 1st and goal for Fort Morgan.
Yeah, he was open out in the flat there, and then he took it the rest of the way in there for the first down.
Let's see if this is a simple run. Hokenedel, the lone setback, under center. Hokenedel's like 6 yards behind the quarterback or the center, but now out of the pistol, and that's part of the reason from the 6-yard line. There's the pitch right to John, looking for a seam. Back to the inside. He spins, and he is down at the 1. Thought he got into the end zone as he was spun down, but he gets to the 1-yard line. Well, I really thought he scored there.
Yeah, it looked like it, but they're calling him just short. Couldn't be any closer, I don't think. It'd be a touchdown.
The gain of 5 for John Hokenedel. 2nd down and goal. He's got 3 carries for 24 yards. Let's see if they reward him. He's in the backfield with Narvaez. And it's a quarterback keeper right up the gut. Obviously a sneak there for Isaac Linker. He scores with 6:27 to go in the opening quarter. And it's Fort Morgan 8, Northridge nothing. And that's the smart play. Just let the big man under center do his thing. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, don't have a chance of having a bad handoff or something. Just take it into the end zone and put the points up on the board.
The extra point to be attempted by Double J, Jose Jimenez, and that one is up. Did he hook it left? No, it's inside the left upright. It's good. 6:27 to go. We're in the opening quarter with a score, Fort Morgan 9, Northridge nothing on Morgan County's B106 and B106.net. Isaac Linker with a 1-yard sneak, and the Mustangs lead Northridge 9-0. Brian, they were playing with a short field there.
Yep, that's what they got to do. They only had to go 44 yards, took 11 plays. And that's what they need to do, is stick it in the end zone when they get the possession inside Northridge territory.
Kevin Rohde also with us. Kevin, we'll keep it up here. There's some interference with your signal from downstairs, so we'll keep it here. High and deep kickoff fielded by Warner at the 2, running right to the 15-yard line along the sideline, and then he's taken out of bounds, and a flag is down at about the 23. So let's see if Fort Morgan is going to benefit from that penalty. Normally that's a penalty against the receiving team, and it looks like it's going to be a hold.
So that'll set him back.
But again, if they can make this a quick game here, midway through the opening quarter, up 9-0, that would certainly benefit Fort Morgan in a huge way. John Hokenedel really did the job on that drive, as he carried the ball 3 times for 24 yards. And then Isaac Linker was able to score 1st and 10 from the 11. Out of the pistol with 1 setback. Eben with 2 receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Now man in motion to the right is Court Cunningham, and he resets. Still awaiting the snap as Eben has the football, hands it up the left side, and that handoff went over to, looks like Devin Lunsford across the 10-yard line. He got to about the 13 or 14. A gain, we'll call it, of about, we'll call it 2. Just past the 13 for Lunsford, 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, Lunsford's had 55 carries this year for 269 yards and 1 touchdown. So he's second behind Chance Eben.
Well, and Eben's one of those quarterbacks. He likes to stick it in the gut of the running back and then make that decision from there. But that time there was no doubt. Trips to the right. 2nd down and 8 from the 13. Play action, rolling to his left. Eben throwing off his back foot. Complete at the 15-yard line. Running along the left side of the 20. Breaking out of a tackle to the 25. And that is going to be Court Cunningham, who got loose. It's a gain of 12 and a 1st down for Northridge.
Yeah, it's misdirection there in that backfield on that. Found Cunningham open out there in the left flat.
First complete pass there for Chance Eben from the 25. Again, out of the pistol. 2 receivers split each side, looking over towards the bench for play instructions. By the way, Darren Eckeren and Scott Rink to finish out that coaching staff that I was talking about earlier. We'll mention the Mustang coaching staff in a moment. Handoff on the left side to Lunsford. He's got a seam across the 25 towards the 30 before he's taken down, but it's a gain of 5. Isaac Linker was the first Mustang in on the hit, then Dylan McBride around the football as well.
Finding a little space there to run.
Well, he's a little guy, so it's not easy to bring down because he's so elusive. 2nd down and 5 from the 30. No huddle offense. 2 receivers out to the right, and Eben will pitch it left. The ball is loose. Lunsford picks it up off the hop, and then he actually couldn't control it, and it rolled out of bounds back at the 25-yard line. So it's going to be a loss of about 5 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 10 for Northridge. And even on a little pitch, those balls are a little bit tougher to field tonight.
Yeah, as cold as it is, it's also a little slippery. The colder it gets, the slicker it gets, and the harder that ball is, too. So
3rd down and 10 for Northridge at their own 20-yard line. We got 4:39 to go, opening quarter. And the Mustangs are in the lead over the Grizzlies 9-0, looking for their 4th consecutive win, all in conference play, and their 6th of the season. From the pistol, Eben, back to throw. Deep up the right side, incomplete. Warner was there, but so were Mustang defenders. It was overthrown at the 50 with Donovan Moya and Grayson Garber giving chase. And we have a flag down, and it's holding against Northridge. And that Mustang defense is just so tough to block that you're going to see plenty of that tonight. The Mustangs will decline the penalty. And Fort Morgan now to receive here out of this punt. And as you mentioned, that should be Drake Holdren. Let's see if that's indeed him. To punt on 4th down and 10. No, let's see.
Like it's hard to tell.
Yeah, we got to tell him to turn his uniform a little bit. All right, Luis Garcia back deep to receive at his own 40-yard line on 4th and 10 for Northridge. At their own 25 is the official spot. Standing at his own 10. High snap and a heavy rush. It's partially blocked by McBride. The ball is loose, and at the 30-yard line, it's down by a Grizzly. But McBride, who's a punt block specialist, he did it at the beginning of the season, was able to get a hand on the ball. And Fort Morgan, Brian, again, has got great field position.
Yeah, they were expecting another high snap. They know they're not having good snaps from the center on these punts, and they just came through there like a flood of water coming through on an open gate.
Okay, it looks like we have a cleaner signal from downstairs with Kevin. We'll send it to you, Kevin, in just a second. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line for the Mustangs in Northridge territory, leading 9-0. The backs are split. This is a handoff. Narvaez right up the gut. He drives to the 28, but there's a pile, and in fact, he's not going down. And big play there for Trey McBride, Kevin, getting in there and getting a hand on the ball, and the Mustangs could extend the lead here shortly.
Absolutely. That was a great special teams play. And I noticed the first score was a safety. You know, we never get any safeties in this season, do we?
Yeah, that's right. We mentioned that's the 5th of the season, 2 for Fort Morgan, and 3 for the opposition. 2nd down and 8 for the 28. Play action, slant over the middle, caught by McBride. A 1st down inside the 20 towards the 12. And, boy, that slant's going to work every time with McBride and that type of size, especially being single team to the 13. It's a gain of 15 on the pass from Linker to McBride. The clock continues to roll. They want to speed up the pace here as much as possible, Brian, because they're doing that so far, and they're right up to the line of scrimmage. They had a brief huddle there, but it's 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line with a back split. Linker is under center, hands off to Narvaez, cutting it back towards the middle, and he's inside the 10 to about the 6-yard line, running off right guard. He gained 7 yards in the play, and it's 2nd down and 3 to go for Fort Morgan. This offense looks very efficient, as they did last week after the opening drive against Thompson Valley.
Yeah, they're looking good. They look like they're hitting on all cylinders right now. They're making some nice holes up front for the backs.
2nd down and 3 from the 6. Back split. Linker, hands off, left side. Narvaez, 1st down. Does he get a touchdown? And it's a fumble, and Northridge recovers, I believe, in the end zone or at the 1-yard line. He did fumble at the last second, and Northridge has it at the 1-yard line. So that's a big mistake there by Fort Morgan. What was one of your 5 in the nickel package, Brian?
Yeah, win the turnover battle, and so far that hasn't happened. So
that's a big fumble now. But you know what? The Mustang defense has been part of their offense this year. Yeah, anytime you're inside, you just got to cradle that football. You cannot get stripped, but that's a young mistake by the sophomore Narvaez, who was our player of the game last week with 114 yards on the ground. Out of the pistol, 4 yards deep into the end zone, and the quarterback keeper running to his right, and even is barely out of the end zone, tackled at about the 2 by Linker. If he even got that far, we'll give him a yard, but it's barely shy of the 2-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 9 to go here for Northridge.
I thought maybe we'd be looking at a second safety here in the first period.
Well, we haven't had 2 in a game, that's for sure. On second down and 9 to go from the 2. Under center's even. This could be a quarterback sneak. It is right up the gut, and he's still driving. And boy, the Mustangs, I don't know if they didn't expect that or not, but he got all the way out to the 8-yard line. It was pretty obvious when he got under center he wasn't going to do anything fancy. And on that play, he picked up 6 yards. It'll be third down and about 3 to go for the Grizzlies, trailing Fort Morgan 9-0 here in the opening quarter. We've got 1:50 to go before the first quarter expires.
Yeah, he hasn't been under center the whole game until then.
But this time he's in the pistol formation. 3rd and 3. Man in motion to the right. Eben will hand it off up the gut, and Warner's going to be held and driven back. Is that Linker again? It is Isaac Linker at the 10-yard line. It's a gain of 2, but you want to talk about a formed tackle. That almost looked like a Jimmy Keller type of tackle there, where you keep the legs driving and move the running back. It'll be 4th down and a long one, about 1.5 yards, and Northridge will have to punt again, but you can bet the Mustangs will be going after the football.
Yeah, on that last punt for Northridge, all the front line was standing. Nobody was down in a 3-point stance.
Well, here we go. Let's see the Mustangs come after it. They can't be offside, though. And that's a high snap. Here comes the pressure. Gets it off low line drive, end over end. It'll take a hop into Northridge territory, taking a Mustang hop for the 37 to the 36-yard line. So Fort Morgan again for the 3rd consecutive time is playing with a short field. And again, you just hold on to the football because you are controlling the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they need to take advantage of this when they were close on the last one, but they're going to send Jacob Ortega in with Hochdahl in the backfield now.
1st and 10, Fort Morgan at the Northridge 36. Under center is Linker. Hocanedo is in front of Ortega. Receiver split left and right. Garcia to the left, McBride to the right. Linker is going to hand it off, and here's a run to the left, inside the 35 to the 30, and a stiff arm to the 25, and that is John Hocanedo. Close to 12 yards if they give him the 24. He didn't have a seam up the middle, then he just found it to the left side. Good blocking on the left side of the offensive line. And John's got 12 yards and a Mustang first down. He's got 4 carries now for 36 yards, matching his uniform number.
Yeah, he just bounced it outside. They had that sealed off on the left side, and he just bounced it out.
1st and 10 for the Mustangs at the Northridge 24. Handoff Ortega. Stutter steps back to the middle to the 20, and he continues to go as he drives those legs to the 16-yard line for a gain of close to 8. And again, he looked for that seam, had a little stutter in that step initially, but he picks up 8 yards. 2nd down and 2 to go for Fort Morgan. And right now they're being very efficient with the ground game as it's going to be the end of the opening quarter with the score, Fort Morgan 9, Northridge nothing. This is Morgan County's B106 and B106.net. John Beltran back with Brian Nickel and Kevin Rhoda here at Legion Field in Fort Morgan, where the Mustangs lead 9-0 going into the second quarter. And again, great field position. They had a chance to score on their previous drive, but there was a fumble by Daniel Nadvaz at the 1-yard line. Now it's 2nd down and 2 for Fort Morgan at the 16 of Northridge. Hocanedo and Ortega, the setbacks. Handoff Ortega. He's got a first down inside the 15 towards the 10, carrying the pile to maybe the 9. And some excellent blocking. Fort Morgan is sustaining those blocks, Brian, which is why these ball carriers, besides by their own merit, are picking up an extra yard or 2. That's a gain of 6 just inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal here for the Mustangs. Receiver split left and right, under center. Linker back to throw. A fade into the end zone right side, and McBride, did he make a one-handed catch? He did not, but wow. He went down to the ground and luckily didn't dive. He just fell to the ground, but nearly an incredible catch in the right corner of the end zone. Oh, look at what he's doing. He's favoring his upper chest there near the collarbone. That's why he does not want to go down in this frigid weather. Boy, I don't know if he's 100% there, because that was the fear. You throw that play, you cannot, given the fractured collarbone he had, you do not want to be diving here. Hopefully he just strained that because he's still on the field. 2nd down and goal from the 10 should be a handoff. It is to Ortega. Left side, make that not Vise inside the 5. and he's down to about the 1, not a 2-5, but I believe that's the 3-5, and it is Narvaez with some strong running, a gain of 9.
Yeah, that was some. They're gonna put, as they say, if you fall off the horse, get right back on and do it again. They're gonna give him a shot at it here. So
it'll be 3rd down and goal from the 1. Is Linker going to sneak it again? Nope, this time handoff not Narvaez. He's into the end zone as he skipped over a Northridge defender for a score. And the touchdown makes it Fort Morgan 15, Northridge nothing early in the second quarter.
Yeah, the offensive line just controlling that line of scrimmage, and they're making some big holes up front. And that time Navarre is just, as you said, skipped into the end zone. And
well, I'm sure he feels better about things now, atoning for the fumble he had earlier. Now the extra point to be attempted by Jimenez off the hold of Linker, and that's a beauty right in between the uprights. We have 11 minutes and 2 seconds to go. Second quarter, the score, Fort Morgan 16, Northridge nothing on Morgan County's B106 and B106.net. Daniel Narvaez scores for the second straight week, and the Mustangs now lead by a score of 16-0 at home on Military Appreciation Night over the Northridge Grizzlies. And now really the goal is to make sure that defense can keep Northridge at a 0, because they do have some explosive players on offense, namely the quarterback Chance Eben. Jimenez to kick it off. This is high and a little bit shorter, fielded at the 11 by Warner, running straight ahead to the 30-yard line. They still don't have him down, but they do at the 32, a return of 21 yards. That's where the Grizzlies take over. With a 16-0 Fort Morgan lead, they still need 3 touchdowns, 3 extra points, and a field goal to get it to a running clock. I think they're just thinking about playing football. And then once you inch closer to that 30 to 33-point lead, then you want to put them away. 1st and 10 for Northridge. Official spot at their own 32-yard line. Chance Eben is in the pistol. They've not been in Fort Morgan territory yet. Cunningham resets to the right. And there's a pitch left and running room to the outside of the 35. There's a cut back to the 37 for Lunsford. And then Jimmy Keller drives him back and down. But it's a gain of 5, and that play was wide open for a while for Devin Lunsford. 2nd down and 5, and Lunsford's had 3 carries now for 12 yards.
Yeah, whoever that defensive end was got pinned in, and it was open around this left end, but they closed in quickly on him and held it to 5.
Under 11 minutes to go here in the second quarter. On 2nd down and 5 from the 37. Again from the pistol. 2 receivers to the left. Man in motion to the right. Looked like a false start, and that's what it was. The snap eventually did take place, but not before a penalty. And again, with our field mic, we're having some interference at times. Other times we don't. We have some interference now, so we'll keep it up here. And then if we have anything that we can send it down to Kevin for, then we will do so. But if not, Kevin will be with us here at halftime and, of course, during the postgame as well. So it's 2nd down and less than 10 to go. At about the 33-yard line for Northridge. The Mustangs have a safety, a 1-yard touchdown run from Linker, another one from Narvaez from the same distance. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Out of the pistol, man in motion is Warner. Will he get it on the end around? He will. Now it's another handoff. Running left is Lunsford to the outside of the 35. Flag is down. He's got a seam inside the 40, and he's driven out of bounds at the 35-yard line by J.P. Hamer. That would be a gain of 32 yards, but it's a holding penalty, and it's coming back, and it's too bad because they had, for Northridge, that is, because they had a big play ahead of them there, Brian.
Yeah, they had a good run out there, but the only reason he got open was because the defensive back was being held out there, and that opened it up.
Yep. Kevin, I don't know if you got a great angle there. We can hear you a little bit better now, but boy, Northridge, it looks like they've got a hold here to create some seams for anything offensively because they've struggled to move the ball down the field without a bit of holding.
Yeah, what they're doing is they're taking advantage of Fort Morgan's aggressive and quick pursuit, and on that one they just reversed it and it was wide open.
And that holding was down the field, so they're back to the line of scrimmage there. So it's essentially a repeat play. So you can give Lunsford 10 yards because they go back to the line of scrimmage to throw a fade up the right side. Lunsford is out there incomplete, but well defended by Hamer at the Mustang 40-yard line. 3rd down and 10 to go. I mean, you do see some life in this offense, but again, the penalties have hurt them, and I'm not sure why on the pass play they've gone for the home run 2 or 3 times, and yet one of their best plays was a screen.
Right.
They threw a screen out there to the left earlier in the first quarter that worked. 3rd and 10 from the 32-yard line. 2 receivers out to the right. Levi Mueller is the widest receiver to the right, 2 to the left with 1 setback. Chance Eben, the quarterback. 2-step drop will hand it off right up the middle on the draw play, but that's going for about a yard. Clipped up after a yard was Cord Cunningham, and now a Mustang is down. And that's Hokenedel. That's James Hokenedel, who I think got a piece of the ball carrier, but also got dinged up a little bit. It's a gain of 1, 4th down and 9, and hopefully he's going to be okay. He's played on both sides of the football.
He was pointing down to his left ankle.
Well, let's see. He's getting up slowly. I think he's okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Hokenedel's okay, and he's limping off the field, but not badly. But James, I think, on the same play he got hurt, got a piece of the ball carrier, so that's a good job by him for a college that will equip you to go anywhere. Look no further than Northeastern. Go to njc.edu. And Western Engineering Consultants, providing civil engineering for aviation, municipal, commercial, and residential clients in Colorado. On 4th and 9, perfect snap. Eben to get it off. It's a low-line drive. Mustangs got to watch out they don't touch it, but it takes a huge Northridge roll inside the 40 to the 37. And that'll be a punt of approximately 31 yards, and Fort Morgan with a 16-0 lead with 8:42 to go in the second quarter takes over, and this is the first time that they are starting in their own territory.
Yeah, we'll have to. They've been able to do it inside the opponent's territory. We'll see if they can sustain a drive here from their 37-yard line.
On 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. They've thrown the ball sparingly here. It's mainly been the run, which has worked beautifully. 1 setback out of the pistol. From the 37, rolling out to his right is Linker. Pressure backside, he throws, and he's pounded into the ground. It's incomplete. Cord Cunningham came through. Linker did not feel the pressure at all, and he was driven down. It'll be 2nd down and 10, and thank goodness he got rid of the ball, because if it wasn't going to be a sack, it could have been a fumble.
Yeah. Yeah, he got some pressure that time. I think it came off that right side of that defensive line.
Well, it's those blindside hits, and Lincoln with a passing game, struggling so far, 2 out of 7 for 28 yards. But again, we don't have ideal passing conditions. And anytime that's the case, you still want to pass, but you're not going to be as successful. 2nd down and 10 for the 37. Baxter and I. This could be a handoff. It will be right side across the 40 and take it down at the 41. Let's see, is that Sharp in there? Yeah, he's back in the game after being dinged up a little bit earlier. 3rd down and 6 to go. Yeah, doesn't Sharp, I mean, I mentioned it, Coach Chisholm, but he's got a different gear, it looks like, than other backs. And that's not to discredit the other ones, but there's something about his running style that stands out.
Right, yeah, you get a little different running style, and it kind of throws that defense off for a little bit. I'd like to see him get out in the open and see if anybody could catch him. He's pretty fast.
3rd down and 6 to go for Fort Morgan at their own 41-yard line. Baxter and I, receiver split left and right. Linker, play action, rolling out to his right. Throws on the run. The pass is going to be complete to McBride, and he's got a seam as he's down the right sideline to the 25, the 10, the 5. Touchdown. There is a flag down. Let's see if that's against Northridge, which would give Fort Morgan the touchdown, as McBride made a leaping catch along the sideline. It would go for 59 yards, and it will be ineligible man downfield against Fort Morgan, wiping out a 59-yarder. I thought McBride was going to catch that and go out of bounds, but the tackle was missed, and all of a sudden he got loose, but that wipes out a 59-yard play. Boy, that's too bad, because they all knew it was a pass play. And if you're an offensive lineman that's downfield, then you simply, I would think, Brian, you just got confused by the play, because that's
Yeah.
That's standard. You don't go past the line of scrimmage if it's a pass play if you're an offensive lineman.
Yeah, you just stay where you're at. So he got wires crossed there someplace, but
that wipes out a 59-yard touchdown. So now it'll be 3rd down and 11 to go. This is something that the three of us have talked about. Penalties, untimely penalties. Not necessarily tonight, but it happened there on 3rd and 11 from the 36. Linker will hand it off on the right side of the 40. Sharp breaks it up a tackle to the 45, and he drives towards the first down marker. I think he's got it.
Yep.
Right at the 47 or 48-yard line. Yeah, we'll give him the first down.
Yeah, that was a nice run. I thought maybe he had more room outside, but he cut it back up the middle and just off right tackle there.
Gain of about, I believe, 12 on the play. So 1st and 10 for the Mustangs, the 48-yard line, up 16-0. 7:27 to go here in the opening half. As Fort Morgan has touchdown runs from 1 yard away from Linker and Narvaez and a safety to begin the game. Under center, Linker hands it off on the left side to Hamer, and Hamer's going to be swallowed up by Court Cunningham and taken down at the line of scrimmage. Not sure if he wanted to cut it back to the inside or swing it towards the perimeter, but he had nothing there, and it's 2nd down and 10. That was Hamer's first carry of the game.
Yeah, he didn't have any room over on that other side, on the left side.
In fact, he lost half a yard to the 47, 2nd down, and a long 10 to go for Fort Morgan. Garcia's the lone receiver to the right. To the left is Trey McBride. Let's see if Linker's going to do one of his play actions. Nope, he'll hand it off to Narvaez across the 50, and he drives those legs to the 46-yard line. He didn't stop after the initial contact, and Daniel Narvaez is able to pick up, we'll give him about 7 yards for the sophomore. 36 yards on 7 carries. 3rd down and 4 with a football at the 46 of the Grizzlies. Approaching the midway mark of the 2nd quarter. Back to the 9. Narvaez, the deep back, has the football running off left tackle, and he's going to be held short of a first down as he runs inside the 45 to the 43. He'll pick up 3 yards, but he needed 4. 4 down territory. The Mustangs are going for it here, and no mystery as to what they'll do here in terms of run or pass.
Right.
The question is, I don't know if Linker can take this on his own unless it's a quick snap, because he normally on quarterback sneaks picks up a yard, but you need a yard and maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, we'll see if it's a quick snap and catch him off guard.
4th and a long one for the 43. Linker hands off Narvaez. First down to the 40. And then he's wrestled around but not taken down. But he needed 3 yards. The whistle blew, and the drive continues for Fort Morgan. They started this drive in their own territory, the first such drive tonight.
Yeah, they kept this alive. They started this on their own 37-yard line with 8:42, and we're down to 5:20 and counting here in the first half.
1st and 10 for the Mustangs at the 40-yard line. The Mustangs did kick off, I should say, to begin the game. Under center is Linker. They're coming on a blitz. Linker's going to hand it off on the counter to Hamer, looking for a seam. Cuts it back to the 35. Hamer to the 30. Running behind a blocker, and he's down. There's a late flag at the 26-yard line. And I wonder if that's holding against Fort Morgan. Trey McBride was the lead blocker, but it was thrown in that direction. I'm not sure if towards McBride or somebody else. But that's near the end of the play.
Yeah, it might have been one of the linemen out there.
Well, we're going to give him 14 yards, though, because the penalty, it's going to be a spot foul.
Right.
It'll be a spot foul. And a gain of 14 there for J.P. Hamer. And that'll set up a 1st down and 7 from the 37. Yeah, it was at the end of the run. Well, Fort Morgan running the football well, but again, head coach Harrison Chisholm is not going to stick with run. He wants to pass. I mean, he will run primarily, but wants to make sure there's balance. Handoff, Narvaez, a big hole up the middle, and he dives to the 20-yard line to make it the 30. Right up the gut, a gain of 7. And he's either at the first down marker or just shy of it. Yep, I think he needs another inch or 2. You know, it wouldn't be a bad idea to try to pass here.
Yep.
I mean, you have 3rd and inches to go, but let's see what Fort Morgan decides to do. Linker with a blitz coming, hands off. First down, Hokenedel. Again, right up the gut. Nothing fancy, but it's very effective. A gain of 6 to the 24 for Johnny H.
Yeah, I don't think they're wanting to mess around here. They're just going to try and drive this right down their throat.
Now, I'm not a good play caller anyway. I think I did it once successfully this year. So that was about it. All right, we're down to 4:05 to go, second quarter. As Brian mentioned, the Mustangs are chewing up time here and trying to shorten the game. First and 10 from the 24 of Northridge. McBride is the receiver to the right. Isaac Linker, the junior, will hand it off up the gut to Nadvaz, tries to break out of a tackle, and then is driven straight back at the 21-yard line. Cord Cunningham got a big stick there on Nadvaz. That's already his 11th carry of the opening half for 52 yards unofficially, second down, and 7 to go for Fort Morgan.
Yeah, there was some rough run in there, but he did get 3 yards.
Adam Cardona is now the tight end to the left. McBride, the lone receiver on this formation to the left, second down and 7. Linker, play action, looking for McBride. Lobs it towards the end zone, and it's going to be, is it broken up or intercepted? It's intercepted. Intercepted near the back of the end zone. It was underthrown. Let's see who picked it off for Northridge. McBride is trying to wrestle the football away, and now we got a late flag. I can't even see, and, well, you got to watch out. Now, don't run towards there. There are Mustangs running towards the pile. Linker and Monroe were giving chase, but you don't want to start anything here. Not that they were looking to. I think you're looking to protect your teammate, but we saw a couple of Mustangs and a couple of Grizzlies running at more than half speed. But it is an interception in the back of the end zone. And again, tough to see. That might have been Jonathan Morado, but I'm not sure who picked it up. But it was underthrown because waiting for the football was McBride. And Fort Morgan has committed 2 turnovers in the game. And both have come, one in the end zone and the other one just shy of the end zone.
And they don't want to do anything stupid here. You get kicked out of this game, you're ineligible for next week. Is that correct?
That is correct. It's a 1-game automatic suspension. And the penalty, it looks like it's going to be against Fort Morgan. See, that whistle blew, and McBride was still wrestling with the defender for that football, and they called the penalty on him. Personal foul. So instead of a touchback at the 20, Northridge has it at the 35-yard line. And now we're having some interference. I'd like to send it down to Kevin, but we have some interference there. Yeah, go ahead, Kevin. If you saw something down there, go ahead.
Well, the ball, as you said, was thrown. Northridge up and got the ball, and then they were just on the ground wrestling for it. So I have no idea why it was foul instead of an unsportsmanlike.
All right, we got the majority of that, and now we have a penalty against Northridge. False start. So now it's 1st and 15 from the 30. Now the game's slowing down, getting a little bit sloppy. But, yeah, as Kevin was explaining, he was just wrestling with the McBride was with the defender for the football and wasn't sure why the penalty was called. I didn't see anything unusual other than it looked like he kept going after the whistle, but it wasn't a stick or anything like that. There's the pitch left to Lunsford, a seam to the 35, along the sideline to the 40, a stiff arm, and he's down by Grayson Garber at the 42-yard line. That's a sizable gain of 12 yards for Devin Lunsford, who's had a couple of decent carries here in the opening half.
Yeah, he looks fairly fast. He got out around that corner there, and Garber brought him down short of the first down.
Well, he's got 5 carries for 34 yards. It'll be second down and about 4 to go for the 41-yard line. At the pistol formation, that is handoff Lunsford right up the gut. He's got 2 yards to the 43. I was trying to say 2 things at once, and I don't know what came out of my mouth before that handoff. But nonetheless, it's a gain of 2 for Lunsford. Third down and 2 to go for Northridge. Still 16-0 Fort Morgan, but time is getting short here in the opening half with 2:18 to go, and the clock is running. The Grizzlies have not been in Fort Morgan territory as of yet. They're trying to extend the drive on 3rd down and 2 at their own 43-yard line. Fort Morgan has allowed 1 score. That was a third-quarter touchdown to Silver Creek 2 weeks ago. In the last 10 quarters, this has been a stout defense from the 43 from the pistol formation. And there's going to be the option, and taken down in the backfield is going to be Eben. He decided not to pitch it left and take off with the football. McBride drove him down to the grass, and a loss of 2 at the 41. Fort Morgan might be able to call a timeout here and preserve some time, but they wouldn't have great field position. There's a minute 34 to go, and the clock is running. And they've got all 3 timeouts.
Right.
But Northridge is going to milk the clock. But this will be another opportunity for Fort Morgan to get the passing game going. And the Mustangs have a double-digit lead, but that turnover battle, you even mentioned specifically if it's 2-0, keep it there, but that was in favor of Fort Morgan
right.
in your example, or in your sample, I should say. But instead it's 0-2 in favor of Northridge on 4th down and 4 from their own 41 in punt formation. Here comes the pressure, and it's a low-line drive, nearly blocked. Bounces inside the Mustang 35, down at the 32-yard line. And not a very impressive punt, but it wasn't blocked. It went for 27 yards. And now the Mustangs, with 3 timeouts and 52.6 seconds to go, have an opportunity here to extend the lead.
Yeah, I don't think Eben's their normal punter. I think their punter is Drake Holden, if I remember looking at right. And I haven't seen him. He apparently is hurt or ineligible or something, but not playing.
1st and 10 for the Mustangs at their own 32-yard line. From the pistol, Linker rolls out to his right. Throwing on the run, the pass is nearly picked off. At the 39-yard line, broken up. Intended for Garcia, but he tried to force it in there. And Santana Garcia of Northridge had more of the football than Luis Garcia did.
Yeah, as you said, he tried to force it in there. He wasn't open by any means.
2nd down and 10. Again, if these are more superior opponents, you're going to get yourself in trouble. Linker will hand it off up the gut. There's a big hole for Hokanado across the 35 to the 40. Breaks out of a tackle, short of a 1st down. The Mustangs have to call a timeout. Are they stopping that on their own? Because I don't think he got the 1st down. He's right at the stick, but let's see.
This guy over here looks like he's marking it as a 1st.
Yeah, well, boy, they gave him a little bit of a generous spot there. It's a gain of 10 right to the 42-yard line, but you got to get up to the line of scrimmage because that clock is already restarted. I'm not sure what Fort Morgan is doing here with clock management, but they got to call a timeout or something. They got to get up to the line of scrimmage.
Well, they act like they've called a timeout because Northridge.
Well, if Northridge called a timeout, it was not signaled by the officials. All right, this is confusing here. Now I see why Fort Morgan did what they did, but you got to look up at the clock as well. You have to look up at the clock, and that was running, even though the coaches were on the field. So,
yeah, Coach Chisholm's not happy. He's trying to get it figured out, but the coaches were out there the whole time, so that should have been there should be 35 seconds at least.
Well, yeah,
the clock.
No, there's no doubt because the clock was running. The clock was running, and they had already called timeout. The coaches were on the field. Let's see, they put time back on the clock. They should because it's at 24, but when the coaches were on the field, as you mentioned, Brian, there was about 34 or 35 seconds to go here before halftime. So I don't know what they're going to do, but I would think, that's why Fort Morgan did what they did. In fact, I was just looking at the Mustangs. I didn't realize that Jeff Fulton, the head coach, and another coach were out on the field while Northridge was near that right hash mark, that entire defense.
So I don't know if they're going to try to.
Well,
they've got to put time back on the clock, I would think.
They're not going to give them 10. They're not putting any time on the clock, it looks like. Well, that's too bad. Now you got to throw it on virtually every play. 1st and 10 from their own 42. Linker back to throw. Plenty of protection. Now rolls out to his right. Pressure coming. Steps up in the pocket. Rolls out and is down at the 45. Now you got to take a timeout unless you let the clock run out and call it a half. It's a gain of 3, and I think now they called a timeout with 9.7 seconds to go. Well, Coach Chisholm was so excited how well Fort Morgan ran that 2-minute offense on last Friday night in Loveland. Now, they got the football here with 52.6 seconds to go. The only thing you can question is whether they should have called a timeout with about 1:30 to go before Northridge punted. But once you got it at 52.6, now they're going to leave timeouts on the field. And you don't have too many options other than to throw it up for Trey McBride and see if he can come down with it. And maybe for a first down, that would give Jose Jimenez an opportunity to kick a field goal unless Linker can unleash it down the field. But in this cold air, that ball doesn't travel like a fly ball in Los Angeles does when it's 100 degrees at first pitch like it was on Tuesday.
Right.
Nonetheless, you have two receivers to the left and one to the right. The Mustangs still have a healthy lead, so even if they don't do anything offensively here, you feel good about the first half. Even with the 2 turnovers, Northridge calls their final timeout. Yeah, I think they want to make sure that they back up a little bit,
right,
and do everything possible to prevent a big Mustang play. Bank of Colorado is a proud supporter of local sports and academics. There's only one Colorado and one bank dedicated to help you make the most of living here. They're not just a bank in Colorado, they're the Bank of Colorado, member FDIC. And, of course, for all your grocery needs and so much more, your one-stop shop, Brush Grocery Carts. And from breakfast and snacks to perfectly brewed coffee and teas, Willow Coffee and Bake Shop, even gift items, 921 Edison Street in Brush. Brian and I got to think about gift items, especially me. I've got my wife's birthday next Friday, then we got Christmas. Oh,
right.
What a stressful time of year this is.
Pressure's on.
Well, yeah, I'm not a very good shopper. But we'll see what I got to get tips from you and Kevin, two guys that are smarter than I am. All right, 2nd down and 7 for the 44. 9 seconds to go. The throw towards the right sideline is, I believe McBride dropped it. That might have been a good idea, only because had he caught it, it would have been a first down. They would have stopped the clock.
Looked like he was going to do the old hook and ladder because Garcia was just coming across there.
That's a good point. I think I saw the same thing. Brian, you got a time there? You got
5.6 seconds.
There we go. And Linker in the opening half is 2 out of 9 for 28 yards, one of his least effective first halves through the air. But again, this is non-passing weather. More than likely the final play here of the opening half, 3rd and 7 from their own 45. Linker is going to hand it off. Hocanedo running right side of the 50 towards the sideline of the 45. Still on his feet to the 40 behind a blocker. Now he's out of bounds, but that's going to end the half to the 39-yard line. A late flag. And it's going to be a pickup of 16 and a first down.
Well, if it's a defensive penalty.
Well, let's see. Oh, they're going to give him 17 officially to the 38. And the flag, well, unsportsmanlike against Fort Morgan.
Halftime.
That's not a way you want to end the first half, but nonetheless, Fort Morgan does have the lead here at the break. It is Fort Morgan 16, Northridge nothing. This is Morgan County's B106 and B106.net. John Beltran back with Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde. Momentarily, we'll head to the second half here in Fort Morgan, where the Mustangs lead the Northridge Grizzlies 16-0. We had a halftime that lasted probably the length of one of our first 2 quarters at Military Appreciation Night. A gorgeous halftime ceremony, but you know, in weather like this, Brian, with temperature in the 30s, it's not easy to get loose.
Right.
Once you've been in that locker room for as long as the Mustangs and the Grizzlies were.
Yeah, and trying to come out because it's colder than it was, at the start of the game. And they, it takes a while to warm up then. They're going to get, I think they'll probably put another 3 minutes back on the clock because Northridge hasn't even come out yet. So it takes a little while. And you don't want to be pulling any muscles or anything. You want to make sure you get well loosened up.
Well, this is what the C team did yesterday for Northridge. Fort Morgan was ready to play, and then Northridge came out at the last possible second, just in time for kickoff. And they played a good, solid, competitive game yesterday afternoon on this field as the Mustang players, most of them holding a flag and raising the flag right around the 25-yard line. And that's a pretty picture out there.
Yeah,
I don't think I'll be able to get a picture in time. Somebody's taking one, but let's see if I can somehow. This doesn't work really well on radio, but let's see. They're all carrying those flags separately. And all right, we'll put an image up there on our B106 Twitter handle and Facebook page a little bit later on, with the Mustang players holding the American flag. There's a lot of American flags out here, by the
there
way. Got a nice supply. Very nice supply of American flags.
Pretty impressive.
All right, 16-0 Fort Morgan is the score, by the way, as we head to the third quarter momentarily. The Mustangs scored on the safety on an errant snap, which went over the punter's head for Northridge. And then Chance Eben just fell on it in the end zone to prevent Fort Morgan from possibly scoring a touchdown there. And then the Mustangs got a 1-yard quarterback sneak for a score by Isaac Linker. And another 1-yarder from Daniel Narvaez. How many Mustangs are going without undershirts here? McBride. There's an offensive lineman as well. Jordan Wogenberg. Nothing underneath. James Hokenedel. All right, so it's frigid, but not frigid enough to prevent all of the Mustangs from wearing some undergarments, so to speak.
Right. Linker doesn't have any on. I see James Hokenedel look like they taped that left ankle pretty heavy. He looked like he was limping a little bit, but I'll bet he's out there playing in that second half.
Yeah, he was hurt in the second quarter, but just dinged up, and he came off the field under his own power. Fort Morgan will receive the second half kickoff. And it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, do they go to the pass game again? Because, again, Linker, 2 out of 9, 28 yards. He was intercepted in the end zone. And even on a night like this, you can make a little bit of an excuse for the weather. But, man, you need at least a percentage that's close to 50%. And Linker has thrown the ball really well this year. It just didn't happen for him there in the first half. And, Brian, if any of us had to guess, we're going to see weather more like this in the playoffs than we saw back in September or early October.
Yeah, it's getting late in the year. It'll be second week of November if they win next week. On into the playoffs, they have to take care of business next week to be able to go on. Because it looks like right now the only team out of the Northern Conference will be the league champion. I think Longmont's sitting at number 16 and Fort Morgan is sitting at number 18 in the RPI. So it looks like whoever wins the league will be the one representing the Northern Conference.
Well, again,
playoffs.
Right, and again, you have a chance for better weather in November only because it's Saturday afternoon, so it's not too bad. In fact, when Fort Morgan was eliminated last year against Discovery Canyon, that was not too bad of a day. It was a nice sunshiny day. Unfortunately, the result was not what the Mustangs were hoping for. So it will be Northridge to kick it off. We'll get a first look at their kicker, actually a second look at their kicker. Second look because of the safety that the Mustangs tallied. And because we had a personal foul at the end of the first half, Northridge will kick off from Fort Morgan's 45. You know what? If I'm Northridge, you got to think about an onside kick, don't you?
I would think so. And if you,
I mean, what's the harm? The harm is that Fort Morgan has it at their own 35 or 30. That's still not great field position, but let's see what happens. You can just boot it out of the end zone as well. This is a little pooch that's going to be caught at the 18-yard line, and a big seam for Andrew Monroe trying to break out of a tackle, but then he's down to the 22 or the 23-yard line. So a nice job of the Mustangs just possessing that football here.
Yeah, they haven't had, even on their regular kickoffs, they haven't been very deep. So that's starting at the 24-yard line. So
First and 10, we'll call it at the 23 there for the Mustangs. Back to the 9, Linker under center. Handoff, that's Sterling Sharp. He runs up the middle, off to the right now to the 30-yard line. Maybe got to the 31 as he wiggled his way in between defenders. It's a gain of 8 to make it 7. Now they backtrack the football. You know, referee says 31, and then they spot the ball at the 30. I don't get that system. I'm confused by it. But nonetheless, second down and 3 to go here for the Mustangs at their own 30-yard line, up 16-0 in the opening possession of quarter number 3. Linker handoff up the middle. Hokenedel first down. He barrels into a defender across the 35 to the 37. It's a gain of 7 as the tackle is made by Nolan Steckel, a 5'8", 200-pound sophomore. But Hokenedel now is over the 70-yard mark at 74 yards from the 37-yard line. Mustangs quickly up to the line of scrimmage. Tight formation, but you do have receivers split left and right. Hand off to the D-back. Sterling Sharp across the left side, a first down as he runs towards the 48-yard line. They'll give him the 47, a gain of 10. But the Mustang offensive line is starting to open up some holes, and Sterling Sharp has been a beneficiary here on this drive.
Yeah, they're going to, kind of like what they've done here in the past. You know, they'll run a back in the first half, then they'll run somebody else different in the second half and try to wear out that defensive line.
1st and 10 at the 47, right up the gut. That's maybe a yard, and that's John Hokenedel. That time he was stacked up by about 3 defenders. 2nd down and 9 to go, and that's Steckel getting off and getting up off the bottom of the pile for Northridge. Being nice to see a 5 or 6 minute drive just eat up the clock here if you're the Mustangs, which they did on one of those drives earlier in the game.
That's the one where they fumbled at the 1. They'd taken about 5 minutes off the clock, and then
2nd down, and 9 at the 48-yard line. Linker will hand it off for the left side to Nutbias. Back to the middle, 1st down across the 40, still on his feet, and he's down at the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 12 yards for Daniel Nutbias. And the Mustangs very effective on the ground here. And Nutbias is up to 64 yards unofficially on 12 carries, and the running game is doing wonders for Fort Morgan right now. In fact, they have not attempted a pass, and this has been the strategy for the Mustangs recently. More passes, a lot more in the first half than in the second half. Linker hands it off to Nutbias off left tackle. Breaks it up a tackle to 35. Still on his feet at the 30. That's a first down inside the 30 to the 28. It's a gain of 12 before Kaylor Warner made the tackle, but Nutbias once again picking up double-digit yardage, and the official spot is the 27, close to 13 in a Mustang first down.
Yeah, that offensive line is blowing some holes there. Look like you drive a truck through.
Yeah, they're simplifying things now. Nothing too fancy. From the 27-yard line in Northridge territory, Linker is going to hand it off to Nutbias, cutting it back to the inside of the 20. Inside the 20 to about the 19-yard line, just jitterbugging his way. A gain of, we'll call it 8. 2nd down and 2 to go. And Nutbias has 33 yards in his last 3 carries and now has 85 yards in the game.
Yeah, Hooknodle, he's just following Hooknodle right over wherever he goes.
From the 19, handoff, Hokenedel up the middle, 1st down. He pulls inside the 15, carrying defenders to the 11 for a gain of 8 for John Hokenedel. Very difficult to bring down. And John is now up to 83 yards on 10 carries.
Yeah, he's just a bull in there. He gets first contact there at the line of scrimmage and still gets 6 or 7 yards.
Well, he doesn't feel the contact. He just keeps going. 1st and 10 from the 11. Linker hands it off to Nutbias, swinging it to the outside, back to the middle to the 5, spins to the 1, and again shy of the goal line, and maybe shy of a first down by an inch or 2. They'll give him, well, let's say the 2, a gain of 9 for Nutbias. Well, this should be easy for the Mustangs now. On 2nd down and 1 from the Northridge 2. Approaching the 8-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. Handoff, Nutbias left side, and he runs into the end zone virtually untouched from 2 yards away for Nutbias, his 2nd touchdown of the game. And the Mustangs now lead the Grizzlies 22-0.
Yeah, that was wide open there on the left side between the center and the guard there. Took it right up the middle. They're making some fantastic holes there on that offensive line.
Now the extra point to be attempted by Jose Jimenez off the hold of Isaac Linker. Low snap. The kick is up, and that kick is true. We have 7 minutes and 59 seconds to go. 3rd quarter. Fort Morgan 23, Northridge nothing. You're listening to Mustang Football on Morgan County's B106 and B106.net. Well, the Mustangs take it right down the field. And they now lead 23-0. It was a 2-yard run by Daniel Nutbias. Now Jimenez to kick it off. All on the ground. Smash mouth football. Line drive fielded by Warner at the 7. running to his right to the 20. Now back to the middle to the 30. Tries to break out of a tackle, cannot. Down at the 28-yard line. Jacob Ortega makes the tackle. It's a return of 21 yards. And Northridge still looking for their first points of the game. Down by 23. And now you know this Fort Morgan defense has just one goal, and that's to keep this Northridge team out of the end zone. Heck, they don't want them to get into Mustang territory.
That's right.
And who knows, remember, they scored 17 points pretty quickly last week, very quickly, to get it to a running clock. You need 17 now to get it to a running clock at this point. 1st and 10 for Northridge at their own 28-yard line. Trips to the left. One setback out of the pistol formation. Chance Eben, the Northridge quarterback, motions a man to the right. That's Lunsford. And play action. Eben looking to throw. Heaves it deep up the middle. That is going to be caught inside the 20 to the 10. 5. Touchdown to Kaylor Warner. 72 yards from Chance Eben. And Northridge is on the board. It's Fort Morgan 23, Northridge 6.
Yeah, that he got behind the defense there. He looked like he was covered there, but Eben laid that right out there for him, and he put it right in his
breadbasket. Yeah, he was covered.
Yeah.
He was covered, but it looked like that he just turned on the afterburners, and the Mustangs could not catch up there, and it's a 72-yard connection from Chance Eben to Kaylor Warner. And now let's see if they attempt the extra point. They will instead of going for 2. That is Drake Holdren to attempt the extra point. Well, that woke up the Morgan defense there. Off the hold of Eben. Now we've got movement along the offensive line.
Yeah.
Boy, that's too bad because you're right. The coverage was out there, but you got to keep going.
Yeah.
It's almost like the defensive back slowed down a little bit, thinking that he wasn't going to catch up to the ball. He ran right underneath it. And really a pretty play. A really pretty play there for the Grizzlies. Now the extra point's going to be a 25-yarder. That is up, and he's got plenty of leg. It is good. 17 seconds after the Mustangs score, Northridge counters. We have 7:42 to go, third quarter. The score, Fort Morgan 23, Northridge 7. This is Morgan County's B106 and B106.net. 72-yard touchdown pass from Chance Eben to Kaylor Warner. And Northridge scores for the first time in the game. The Mustangs lead 23-7. Fort Morgan needed 4 minutes to score. They needed 17 seconds. This is a high short kick, and it's dropped at the 34-yard line, and I think the Mustangs fell on it, but that was a little bit shaky there. It looked like, was that 62?
Alex Ortega, 61, I believe.
61. Yeah. And the Mustangs have it at their own 35-yard line. Those are those little pooch kicks.
Yeah, Morgan doesn't have, well, as you would call him, a hands man there with Alex Ortega up there.
1st and 10 with a football at the 35 for Fort Morgan. Backs it an eye. Under center, Linker hands it off to Sterling Sharp. He's thrown for a loss back at the 30-yard line. Boy, there was one Grizzly that came through completely untouched. That's Court Cunningham. And it's 2nd down and 15. There was just a missed block there because there's nothing. Even Hokanetta would have had trouble on that one.
Yeah, there was no blocking up there. I don't know where he came from. But he was untouched as he came through and got Sharp.
Well, it doesn't mean you still can't run the football here with a 2nd down and 15 from the 30-yard line. With the Mustangs holding a 16-point advantage under center. Linker hands it off on the left side. There's a hole across the 30 and spinning to the 36, maybe the 37 is Sterling Sharp. The initial contact was made by Hayden Rose, a 5'9", 165-pound sophomore. Now we'll give him 6, 3rd down and 9 to go. And for Sharp, he is up to 34 yards on 7 carries.
He had a nice hole there.
Well, with the way Fort Morgan's running the football, if you pick up 5, 6, 7 yards here, it could still be 4-down territory. I know you're on your own side of the field. McBride is the receiver to the right. Receiver to the left as well. 3rd and 9 for the 36. Here comes the blitz, and Linkert is going to go down at the 40. He lunged back to the 41, but again, a perfect blitz there for Northridge. And there was nothing Linkert could do as he loses. Well, actually, he got back to the line of scrimmage, maybe lost half a yard, and the Mustangs will have to punt. And that's a case there, Brian, where you need the perfect play call. Right. If you have the right play call there, because they obviously had the right play call on defense, that's what can benefit you. And now, do we have an official's timeout? As we have 4th down and 9 for the Mustangs at their own 36-yard line.
And they got 12 on the field.
Yep, so this will be a 4th down and 4 now at the 41. But Fort Morgan is still going to punt. Trey McBride is the long snapper for the Mustangs. Luis Garcia to punt at his own 25-yard line. Snap is right there. Here comes the pressure. He gets it off end over end, bounces at the 29-yard line, takes a Mustang roll, and they're not going to field that. McBride downs it at the 20-yard line. Pretty good punt there of 39 yards with no return for Luis Garcia. And midway through the 3rd quarter with 5:40 to go, with the Mustangs holding a 23-7 lead, Northridge takes over again at their own 20-yard line. But now it's time to play the defense you've been playing
right
until that one play. And I'm sure Northridge is thinking now that they can attack a little bit through the air.
Yeah, they need to. That front needs to get some pressure on him if he's going to take that much time to get the ball downfield.
1st and 10 for Northridge at their own 20-yard line. Brian, of course, with thoughts of warmer weather. But we're not too bad here. Lining up on the right hash mark. From the pistol formation, Warner's in motion. He gets the pitch to the left, trying to swing it to the outside. Garver's out there, can't bring him down. However, he forced him out of bounds for a loss. So Grayson Garver did his job, running across from one side to the other. And it's a loss back to the 15, maybe the 16-yard line. And that type of pursuit has got Northridge in a 2nd and 15 situation, a loss of 5.
Yeah, nice job by Garver on the pursuit out there. Didn't bring him down, but he forced him back and out of bounds.
2nd down and 15 from the 15. Now the Mustangs secondary's got to watch out here because this is a passing situation, and they just had a 72-yard score on their most recent pass from Eben to Warner from the 15 with one setback. Lunsford is in motion to the left. From the pistol once again. Eben back to throw. Protection. Heaves it deep up the right side. That's going to be incomplete. And Warner was blanketed there by Luis Garcia. And J.P. Hamer also defending. That time, it's kind of like if you're a pitcher covering first base. You run through the bag completely. You don't stop
right
when the ball is thrown to you. It's what he did there. He ran through the entire play. Didn't anticipate that ball was going to be overthrown. In fact, Garcia was almost ahead of the receiver by the time the ball hit the ground.
Yeah, he had to let go of that ball a little sooner. Trey McBride was coming in from the left side. I thought they were going to throw a holding flag on him, but they kept it in the pocket.
3rd and 15, rolling out to his right, setting up a screen to the left. The pass is caught by Cunningham, but he is swallowed up. Oh, the Mustangs were right there to make the play. Man, that's a phenomenal play along the other side by Jimmy Keller. Right at around the line of scrimmage. I mean, he read the screen beautifully. 4th down. It's a complete pass, but it goes for nothing there to Cunningham. 4th down and 15 to go, and the Mustangs certainly did their job on defense.
Yeah, had that screen pass. When he caught that pass, you ran right into the back of one of his offensive linemen, along with Jimmy Keller.
Northridge to punt. Luis Garcia standing at the 45 of Northridge. Light pressure, short punt. It will bounce at the 38-yard line, take a Northridge roll. It'll be down near the 48-yard line. So a punt of close to 33 yards. But once again, this is probably the 4th time that the Mustangs have started a drive in this game, and the first time in the second half in Northridge territory. Fort Morgan scored on their first time out.
See what they come out with, a little offensive, little different offensive formation here, what they're going to do for this blitz coming in from Northridge if they keep it up.
1st and 10 for the 46-yard line of Northridge under center, and there was movement on the Right side, no whistle. There's a pitch right to Ortega. Swings it back to the outside. He's down for a loss of 1, but I guess they didn't cross the line of scrimmage or get into the neutral zone, but it certainly appeared from here that they did, but there was no flag thrown.
No, yeah, I thought that one of the left tackle had come across the line, but they said no. So
2nd down and 11 to go. Ortega now sprints off the field. Fort Morgan at the 47-yard line of Northridge, leading 23-7. We got 4.5 to go in the third quarter from Fort Morgan. Linker again under center, backs in an eye, handoff, not biased, stutter steps, swings it back to the middle to the 45, a seam to the 40, in the secondary to the 30, not biased with 1 to beat, back to the inside of the 20, and Narvaez with a first down. A phenomenal run by Daniel Narvaez as he gets all the way down inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. That's a gain of 34 yards for the sophomore Narvaez, and for the second straight week he's over 100 yards.
Yep. Yeah, that's what happens when you bring everybody on the defense up and on the blitz. And it looks like Northridge is going to call a timeout. But once he got past the initial line of scrimmage, he had about 1 or 2 guys out there, and they finally did bring him down, but not until he got to the 13.
Oh, but that was some shiftiness.
Oh, yeah.
128 yards now on 16 carries. A lot of that was shiftiness and vision, because a lot of backs, they wouldn't have been able to zigzag their way in between defenders. And you can hear Kevin down there. It looks like sounds like Kevin is amongst a lot of people in the crowd. But Kevin, quite the run there for Narvaez. He's showing a lot of explosion here the last 2 weeks.
Yep, absolutely. That was a really nice run. As you said, he's starting to have that vision where he can see his blockers. And don't forget to give credit to the wide receivers and even some of the linemen that were downfield blocking for him.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. There's no question about it that he's not doing that completely on his own. He's getting plenty of support. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs at the Northridge 13-yard line. Backs in an eye, handoff not biased. The ball is loose. Northridge has got it. He never got the handoff cleanly, and Northridge recovers at their own 11-yard line. And the Mustangs have committed their 3rd turnover of the game, but it didn't look like Narvaez got that ball cleanly.
No.
Or if he did, he didn't hang on to it for very long at all.
Yeah, three turnovers here, and the first one was at the 1-yard line. This one's at the 13-yard line when they're getting down and ready to score.
That's 3 turnovers in the red zone. So Northridge has it, trailing 23-7 with 4:08 to go in the third quarter. I mean, it's just clear from here that he never had that football, and if he did, like I said, he didn't hang on to it for long at all. 1st and 10 at the 11. 5 yards behind center is the quarterback even with 1 setback. Back to throw, pressure up the middle. The pass is going to be behind the intended receiver, Kaler Warner, at the 23-yard line, defended by Hamer. It'll be 2nd down and 10, and Eben, who threw just 3 passes in the opening half, is 1 out of 4, but that one went for 72 and a score.
Yeah, he was feeling some pressure on that one. I wasn't sure who that was getting up through there. Might have been John Hooknall who was putting the pressure on him.
Proud to be Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan with locations in Fort Morgan, Sterling, and Brush. Equitable Savings and Loan. 2nd down and 10 for Northridge at their own 11-yard line. Fort Morgan 23, Northridge 7. Again, awaiting the snap is Eben. Has the football, spins, pitches out to his right to Lunsford. A seam to the right side across the 15, then poked out of bounds. But he's got some sizable yardage short of a first down. He got to maybe the 19. They'll re-spot it here in just a second for Devin Lunsford, who's got a lot of speed to burn. And the gain is going to be about 7. It'll be 3rd and a long 3 to go. Lunsford with just his 7th carry, but he's had some success on 3rd and 3 from the pistol. This time it'll be a handoff right side, and driven back as a flag is down as Lunsford, and Jimmy Keller drove him back. No gain.
Holding.
Yep, against Northridge. They'll decline that one, and the Grizzlies will have to punt.
Yeah, they had a little meeting there in the backfield with Jimmy Keller. Who is the other? Jimmy Keller and
Yeah, there were two. There was another one in there. I don't know if Garcia was the other one. I thought I saw.
It might have been Miranda that was in there with him.
So it'll be 4th down and about almost 4 to go now. Another punt formation here, but the Mustangs, again, the one negative is not going to meet Brian Nichols' nickel package, which is losing the turnover margin badly. Here comes the pressure, and that punt is a fluttering punt, and it bounces to the 48, takes a huge Northridge roll. This is going to go down, to the 38-yard line. That punt goes for 45 yards. And the Mustangs have it late here in the third quarter, up by 16.
Yeah, that was his best punt of the night by far.
The only reason, Brian, that these turnovers have not hurt them is because, like I mentioned, they've all been in the red zone or in the end zone. That's the only reason. If not, this would not be a 23-7 game. 1st and 10 for Fort Morgan at their own 38-yard line. Isaac Linker has not attempted a pass in the third quarter. Lining up on that right hash mark, Baxton and Isaac Linker with a hard count. Will hand it off on the left side. There's a seam across the 40 to the 43. That's Sterling Sharp. Boy, it looks like he's just a split second away from breaking it. He picks up 5. 2nd down. If he's that close. He's that close to breaking it.
Yeah, he's about one tackle away. If he could have pulled out of that shoestring tackle there, he'd have been on his way.
2nd down and 5 for the Mustangs at their own 43. Handoff and breaking out of a tackle is Ortega across the 45 towards the 47. They got a piece of him in the backfield, but not enough to bring him down to the ground. And the gain is close to 4. 3rd and about 1.5 yards. Let's see if Fort Morgan can take this clock to the fourth quarter. They'll need at least a 1st down or 2 in order to make that happen. And Northridge more than likely is going to come on a blitz. 4th down, make it 3rd and a long 1 at their own 47. Handoff, Narvaez, right side, 1st down as he continues to roll his body towards the 50. Not sure he got there, but it didn't matter. Narvaez runs low to the ground when he knows he's about to be contacted. It's a gain of 2 for Narvaez. Carry number 18, including the most recent fumble.
Yeah, he's got some power to him once he can hold on to the ball.
We have 2 minutes to go here in the third. Fort Morgan 23, Northridge 7. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs at their own 49. Coming on a blitz. Linker, play action, rolls out to his left, throws off his back foot, incomplete. And, man, they were all over him. So even off the blitz, they got through. Well, that's but it was a run blitz, you would think, but the way they attacked him, you'd have thought it was a pass type of blitz as well. I mean, they were all over him.
They were all over. He didn't have any time. He threw it out there, got outside the tackles, and McBride was in the area.
2nd down and 10 at their own 49. Yeah, it's all about calling the right play when that happens or just getting enough blocking. Baxton and Linker hands it off to Narvaez off left tackle inside the 50. Across the 50 now to the 48, a gain of 3 before he's wrestled down to the ground. Carson Doney, 5'8", 135-pound junior defensive back, made the hit. Again, that's carry number 19 for Narvaez. Over 130 yards now, 133 unofficially. 3rd down and 7 for the Mustangs at the Northridge 48-yard line. Linker hands off to Narvaez. Stutter steps back to the inside across the 45, short of a 1st down at the 43. But again, running hard, a gain of 5. It'll be 4th down and a short 3 to go. You can play field position here, but the running game is good enough. You could go for it. And even if you don't pick it up, you feel confident enough that Fort Morgan can contain Northridge and that offense that has produced very little other than that 72-yard scoring pass. All right, 4th and 3 from the Northridge 43. Linker hands it off Narvaez back to the middle. He's held short. He got to the 41 after he was hit at the 42. And, yeah, Boy, the Northridge coaches pretty excited there.
Yeah. Let's see. Look at the mark.
I don't know, boy.
They're gonna measure this. They may have it if it's.
Well, you're right. Looking at the sticks now. Wow. But I'm going to tell you right now. I think that's a generous spot for Fort Morgan.
Yeah.
I don't think he made it that far, to be honest with you, Brian. And you like to see the Mustangs succeed. I did not see that. I did not see them get that far unless his body was lying on top of somebody else. We didn't see it,
right.
But he needed 3 yards. He needed to get near the 40, and the ball's not at the 40, but he has to get to like the 40 and a half. Yeah, that's going to be an easy first down by the length of the football.
Holy cow.
So it's a gain of 3 for Narvaez. But I'm telling you, I think we're in agreement. Kevin, did you see that spot down there?
I thought the spot looked really good for Fort Morgan there.
Exactly.
They gave him a little bit of extra, but maintain the drive and get into that fourth quarter and continue the drive.
There you go. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs, just shy of the 40-yard line. I guess we all three agree there. Linker with a blitz coming, hands it off on the end around here to Hamer. Back to the 40-yard line, spins inside the 40 to the 38, and the ball is loose. But I think it's at the end of the play. I think he was down already at the 38 for a gain of 2. And that'll be the end of the third quarter. The score, Fort Morgan 23, Northridge 7 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.net. The Mustangs lead 23-7 over Northridge. Let's head to the fourth quarter. John Beltran with Brian Nickel and Kevin Rohde. 2nd down and 8 to go from the 38 of Northridge. A handoff on the left side. And that, once again, is the sophomore Daniel Narvaez to the 35, picks up 3 yards. Well, we know who the workhorse is tonight. Narvaez now with 22 carries. He had 52 yards at halftime on 11 carries. He's got 11 more carries here in the second half. Going for 91 yards in the second half, 143 unofficially. 3rd and 5 from the 35. Linker to throw, looking slant, complete to McBride at the 25. Tries to break out of a tackle. They've got him down at the 15. It's a gain of 20 and a Fort Morgan Mustang first down. And just the 3rd pass completion there by Isaac Linker, but that's a biggie to McBride.
Yeah, nice slant pass on the left side. And then some good running there by McBride after the catch.
1st and 10, just inside the 16-yard line.
Maybe that'll keep Northridge a little more
honest on defense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. From the 16, Narvaez, the deep back, already with 22 carries. That's a team high this season. He's got the football, stutter stepping. There's a flag down. It's going to be against Fort Morgan as he drives inside the 15 to about the 11, maybe just the 12, but that's going to come back holding against the Mustangs. Well, they played pretty disciplined football in the third quarter. You don't want a repeat of some of the penalties in the first half here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but the first quarter went actually pretty good, like you said, and then that second quarter got sloppy. But we need to end this game on some clean play and head into next Friday night against Longmont.
1st down and 20 to go for Fort Morgan at the Northridge 26-yard line. The Mustangs, 1-yard touchdown runs from Linker and Narvaez, who also has a 2-yard touchdown run. And then the 72-yard scoring pass for Northridge from Chance Eben to Kaylor Warner from the 26. Linker with a hard count will hand it off to Narvaez off right tackle. He breaks the tackle to 20, still on his feet, and he lunges and spins towards the 15. Another strong run for Daniel Narvaez. It's a gain of close to 11. We'll give it, looks like just 10. Yeah. 2nd down and about 10 to go there. And Narvaez now unofficially at 153 yards on 23 carries.
He's got both arms on that ball. As we can see from here, that the Grizzly defense is grabbing and digging at that ball every chance they can.
Well, the 2 turnovers that Fort Morgan has via fumble, he's been involved with both. That's the only negative. Second down and 10 for the 15-yard line. Backs remain in an eye. Narvaez again off the right side, and he runs behind a blocker to the 10, still driving those legs. He gets to the 9 for a pickup of 6 yards in the play before he stacked up there on carry number 24. And on the hit was Hunter Heinzelman, a 6-foot, 185-pound senior. Third down and less than 5 to go with a football just inside the 10 of Northridge. It's amazing. You see a player land in one spot, Brian. You and I have seen the same thing all night, and the ball spotted somewhere else.
Right.
On third down and 5, just inside the 10. Receiver split left and right. Hocanedo and Narvaez are right behind Linkers under center, letting the play clock run down. The play clock is at 4, at 3. He gets a snap off, handoff, Narvaez, left side. He's got nothing. Right at the 10-yard line, he was hit. He had no running room. And Narvaez is held up. It'll be fourth down. You can take a 3-possession lead with a field goal attempt here by Jimenez. It would only be about a 27-yarder. But it looks like the Mustangs are going to go for it.
Yeah, they're going to, if they don't make it, they'll figure that Northridge has to go another 90 yards to get in the end zone.
4th and 5 from the 10. Receivers split left and right. Could be a pass play here. Linker looking for the fade. No, the slant over the middle, and it is incomplete. And it looked like it was in and out of the hands of Garcia.
Yeah.
He would have had a touchdown, but that was a perfect throw from Linker on the slant. And Northridge takes over on downs.
Yeah, it looked like it was right in there, and Garcia couldn't come up with it.
8:06 to go in the fourth quarter. The Mustangs still lead 23-7, but yeah, the Mustang junior quarterback delivered a strike, unless that ball was tipped. But I don't think it was tipped, Brian. I think Garcia tried to catch it with his chest.
Yeah,
and I know it's a very cold night, and it was a ball that was thrown extremely hard, or I shouldn't say extremely, but it was just delivered the way he normally does. But it feels a lot harder in these temperatures.
Yep.
From the 10-yard line, from the pistol, Eben, play action, looking to throw. To his left, the pass is nearly picked off. Incomplete at the 22-yard line. Andrew Monroe in on the coverage intended for Levi Mueller. And for Eben in the second half, his last 4 passes.
Somebody's down for
have
Northridge.
gone. Well, he had 1 completion for 0 yards. Yeah, we do have an injury there to a Northridge Grizzly on the ground. When you're looking for someone to walk you through the insurance world, turn to the office of Greg Mullen and Brush. Home, Auto, Life, and Health State Farm Insurance is there for you and your family. Give Greg Mullen a call, 842-4555. The Mustangs did take a timeout in the opening half. That was brought to you by Ehrlich Toyota East. Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Ehrlich Toyota East in Fort Morgan will fit you into the car or truck of your choice. Serving all of Northeast Colorado, that's Ehrlich Toyota East. And next week, we'll be right here for the regular season finale, as the Mustangs will be taking on the Longmont Trojans. That'll be for the Northern Conference title. And, Brian, that's an elimination game for Fort Morgan, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't think they can make the playoffs if they lose that game.
No, I don't think so. They're sitting at 18 on the RPI, and this game isn't going to help them any. And I think Longmont was sitting at 16 when the night started, so I think it'll be an elimination game for either team.
Second down and 10 for Northridge at their own 10-yard line. I'm not sure who they walked off.
Maybe 53.
Yep. Well, was that a lineman?
Yeah, Nolan Steckel, I believe, is who it is.
He's been involved on defense as well. Eben throwing out to his right on the slant, incomplete. Right through the hands of Kaylor Warner at the 13-yard line. Third down and 10.
Yeah, that was another one that should have been handled.
Donovan Moya was there for Fort Morgan, but like you said, that should have been a complete pass. Now it's third down and 10. Excuse me. For Northridge at their own 10-yard line. Trailing 23-7 here in the fourth quarter. Man in motion to the left. That's Devin Lunsford. He resets. Eben is back to throw near his end zone. Throws, and the pass is behind. Nearly intercepted by Garcia, intended for Warner at the 19-yard line. That would have been a pick six. But again, that ball is a lot harder to catch tonight.
Yeah. I thought Garcia had it there for a minute, but
the Mustangs have 7:47 to go. They only took 17 seconds off the clock off those incomplete passes. Mustang getting onto the field right now, and Leo Luna, third down, and make it 4th and 10. Northridge to punt. And the pressure coming, and it's a low punt, and the ball does not turn over. Bounces at the 36, take a side spin. And the cold is getting to my lips, down at the 37-yard line. And Fort Morgan, for a fifth time, I believe, in this game, will have it in Northridge territory. But again, they've got to get the offense rolling, only up 23-7 in this game. They've had 3 turnovers. Northridge has not committed a single turnover.
Yep.
But the reason, as we mentioned, Fort Morgan's gotten away with it is because the turnovers have been committed deep in Northridge territory. 2 in the red zone, 1 in the end zone. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs at the 37-yard line. At least take 2 or 3 minutes off the clock here. Lenker will hand it off to Narvaez. He's got a big hole across the right side. Across the 30, still running. And he's down right there for a gain of 7. Boy, an impressive use of Narvaez.
Yeah.
He now has 26 carries in the game. I mean, he has another big carry here. He could go for 200 yards. But not quite yet. Yeah, I've got him unofficially at 165. He couldn't do it on this drive. On 2nd and 3 from the 30, Linker to throw towards the sideline, complete to Garcia. Breaks a tackle at the 15, and he's spun out of bounds. Across the 15 to the 13, maybe the 12. Gain of 17. And a Mustang first down for Linker. His 4th completed pass of the game. 2nd reception for Luis Garcia. Ball spotted at the 12. On 1st down and 10 for the Mustangs. Looking to extend a 16-point lead. Isaac Linker will hand it off to Narvaez, off left tackle to the 10. He's got the edge to the 5. He's spun inside the 5. Did he get into the end zone? No, he's down again at the 1. Boy, how many times has that happened? I mean, there's been 2 or 3 times that Narvaez could have scored, and he got taken down at the 1, a gain of 11 for Daniel Narvaez on his 27th carry of the night. So it's 1st and goal for the Mustangs. Narvaez has scored 2 touchdowns already. And Linker with a quarterback keeper. He's into the end zone for a touchdown. Linker with his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Mustangs now lead 29-7. And now the extra point to be attempted here by Jose Jimenez to get Fort Morgan to that 30-point mark. And Linker doing it the easiest way possible. He will hold now for Jimenez. The snap is perfect. The kick is up, and the kick is perfect. We've got 6:43 to go in the game. Fort Morgan 30, Northridge 7 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.net. The Mustangs get a 1-yard run from Isaac Linker. Little quarterback sneak. And nearly midway through the fourth quarter, they've got a 30-7 lead on Northridge on a Military Appreciation Night, a special night here in Fort Morgan. And in a game in which the Mustangs are losing the turnover battle badly, 3-0, but they have a 27-point advantage. And Jose Jimenez will kick it off for Fort Morgan. Linker and Narvaez have scored the touchdowns for the Mustangs. High and deep, fielded at the 6 by Warner. Stutter stepping to the 50, now to the 20, and he's taken down by Keller. And there was somebody else down there even before Keller at about the 23-yard line. J.P. Hamer. And now here comes Northridge. Well, they countered Fort Morgan's other touchdown earlier in the second half, and they're trying to do it again. Mustang defense has allowed only 2 touchdowns in the last 13 and a half quarters. On 1st and 10 for Northridge at their own 23-yard line. 2 receivers split out to the right, 1 to the left. Out of the pistol, there's the pitch left to Warner. He wants to throw the football. The lefty heaves it up the left sideline. Out there is Mueller, incomplete at the 40-yard line of Fort Morgan. Defended by Andrew Monroe, and now we got a Northridge Grizzly down at the 11. I wonder if that is Warner. He might have taken a pop throwing that pass. Yeah, I think on the follow-through, he might have taken a big-time pop. Let's see, getting up slowly. Yeah, that is Kaylor Warner. How you doing there, Brian?
I think I'll live.
Well, as soon as I said that,
Yep.
Brian had something not caught in his throat, strangling his throat, it sounded like. It'll be 2nd down and 10 to go. Yeah, as Warner released that pass, which bounced to the 40-yard line. It was
a halfback pass.
Right.
Yeah, he had to pitch it back to his man in motion.
All right, Warner gets a break. 2nd down and 10 at their own 23-yard line off the incomplete pass. Eben out of the pistol, looking at his wrist for a play, and he'll keep the football himself, but Bobby Tolson takes him down as he tried to run to his right, a loss of 3, back to the 20-yard line. 3rd down and 13, that Mustang defense showing up once again.
Yeah, they're pretty strong, the Mustang defense. They come to play every night, that's for sure.
Back to the 19, 3rd and 14 from the 19-yard line. Passing situation once again. As Eben's going to spin to his left. He'll pitch to Lunsford to the outside of the 20, back to the middle to the 25, down at the 26. It's a gain of 7, but held short of a 1st down is Devin Lunsford. They needed to get to the 33. It's a 4th down and 7. James Moody, a senior, made the hit for Fort Morgan, and Northridge will have to punt. And at this point, you just want to eat up some clock here. Eat up some clock and run out the clock.
Yeah, 5.5 minutes left here, up 30 to.
It's going to be a long time for Brian Nickel to make it through the rest of the game, but we'll see what happens. I think you're recovering nicely, Brian. You're making a comeback. High snap. That's over the punter's head into the end zone. Eben is going to pick it up, and he's just going to fall for a 2nd safety. And the Mustangs now lead 32-7. All right, well, that's 2 bad snaps, and now the Mustangs have had 3 safeties this season and 3 safeties against them. Wow, just another one of these weird games. It's been that type of season. Very weird.
Well, maybe it's because Halloween was within, 4 days?
Well, we saw weird. We saw weird back on September 1st.
Right.
You know.
Yeah,
So
it's been a different type of season, that's for sure.
Yeah. So Fort Morgan now with a 32-7 lead off their 2nd safety of the game. Same circumstance. And again, we still have 5:13 to go. So at this point, you just want this game to get over with as quickly as possible. I'm sure the fans do too.
Yeah, we're sitting up here in the
booth
booth up here with the window closed. We're really pretty well off.
All right, Drake Holdren to kick it off. Pretty good kick to the 34, dropped, picked up by Hamer at the 40-yard line. He's got a seam across the 40 of Northridge into the 2nd unit there to the 30-yard line. Wow, nice return there off the initial drop of 36 yards there for J.P. Hamer.
Yeah, that was a nice recovery. Once he dropped it, he's got some speed out there.
He does, man. He's got major speed.
Yep.
And he demonstrated that First and 10 for Fort Morgan at the Northridge 30-yard line. He's not biased staying out there because, man, he's got 27 carries. I got to tell you, I never anticipated that from any Fort Morgan back this season.
Nope.
But he's in that backfield from the 30-yard line. And he's been running like he's still got fresh legs. Linker will hand it off to Hokenetto right up the gut. And he bulls his way toward 27. Let's see where the official spot is because you never know. If it's the 27, it's a gain of 3. But again, this is not about getting back into the end zone. They probably will if they keep running like this. Gain of 3. And for John Hokenetto, he is up to 88 yards. They could have 2 100-yard rushers tonight, but Hokenetto needs 12 more.
He just came out.
Yeah, Ortega's now in the backfield with Narvaez on 2nd down and 7 from the 27-yard line of Northridge. Linker will hand it off. No, will pitch it right to Ortega. Stutter steps, tries to snap out of a tackle and does, runs into a blocker, is inside the 25, and he drives towards the 22-yard line. He could have lost 2 or 3 yards, and Ortega, with some fight, will, and determination, is able to pick up 5, 3rd and 2 for the Mustangs.
Yeah, that was all Jacob Ortega on that run. Bounced like a pinball out there.
Did you play pinball in your day, Brian?
Once in a while, not too often.
Okay, that's because you were cooler than I was. 3rd down and 2 to go from the 22-yard line. Well, the post-game show coming up with yours truly, Brian and Kevin, here momentarily, but we still have some football to play. On 3rd and 2 from the 22, play clock is down to 5. The pitch left to Ortega. Looks for a block, cuts it back to the inside, across the 20, 1st down, and he backs his way to the 18 for a gain of 4 before he's wrestled to the turf. And the Mustangs are just chewing up time and yardage with 3:18 to go, and the clock is running. I don't know if they can run this thing out. If you pick up a 1st down and obviously don't score, you can run this thing out. Well, the Mustangs up 32-7. They've got 4 touchdowns and 2 safeties on the night from the 18-yard line. Again, Linker waiting for that play clock to get down to 5 or close to it. He'll hand it off on the stutter step to Ortega. He's got a seam across the 10 down to the 9, short of a 1st down. It's a gain of 9. Are they going to give him almost 10 because they're stopping the clock? I don't know why, because I thought he was short of a 1st down.
Yeah, they gave it to him. He's almost to the 8, it looks like.
Well, let's give him 10 yards there for
so 1st and goal.
Jacob Ortega. We'll give him the 8-yard line. Yeah, the Mustangs cannot run this thing out. They can get it to probably down to under a minute to go, but they'd have to run it at least 3 plays here. On 1st and goal from the 8, the backs are split. 2 sophomores, Narvaez and Ortega. Narvaez up the gut. Boy, he's stuck at the line of scrimmage. He had nothing there. And there's a late flag. There's a late flag. Down at the 9 was Narvaez on one side, 8 on the other. This could be going against Fort Morgan. Yep, it's a holding penalty. So they're going to go back to the 18-yard line. This will not count as a carry for Narvaez officially because of the penalty. And it'll be 1st and goal from the 18.
That gives them a little more room. Maybe they'll be able to run it out without looking like they're going to run up the score. But
well, they are running clock. And the clock now reads 2:07 to go. So they could, if Northridge does not call a timeout, now I'm the one jinxing, then they could conceivably run out this clock because now we're under 2 minutes to go. On 1st and goal from the 18, this is a handoff on the right side, and that's nothing there as well. There was a pitch instead. Okay, I lost track of the ball there momentarily. That was J.P. Hamer. He got half a yard, so we'll give him nothing there. I'm surprised they're pitching.
Yeah.
Because you just want you've already got 3 turnovers. I know that none of those were on a pitch, but even still, 2nd down and goal from the 18 again. they're not going to run out the clock because they don't want Northridge to call a timeout, but the clock is reading 1:20 to go, and it is running.
Right. Northridge hasn't.
Well, I mean, there's no reason to call a timeout.
No.
They're down by 25, but you still want to run your offense here. On 2nd and goal from the 18, Linker hands it off on the right side to Ortega. He's got maybe a yard, if even that, before he's driven back by the left side of that defensive line. And Northridge playing it right to the whistle here. 3rd down and goal from the 18. Well, I think one more handoff and the game is going to be over if you don't score. Because now we're at 44 seconds to go. Coach Chisholm just walked over to his quarterback Linker. They might even call a timeout when the play clock is inside of 5. Or just take a knee. Yeah, I think they're going to be in victory formation here.
Yep.
So it's 3rd down and goal from the 18. And Isaac Linker will take a knee, and that's going to be it. The Fort Morgan Mustangs will defeat the Northridge Grizzlies tonight by a score of 32-7. We'll come back with a recap right here on Morgan County's B106 and B106.net. John Beltran back with Brian Nickel and Kevin Rhoda here from Legion Field in Fort Morgan. Mustang post-game shows brought to you by Morgan Community College. Find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC online at morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session. MCC, here to help you imagine, believe, and achieve your goals. Morgan Community College, hopefully trying to get on Facebook Live as well, as the Mustangs defeat the Northridge Grizzlies tonight on Military Appreciation Night, 32-7. Fort Morgan very balanced, Kevin. 16 points in the opening half, 16 points in the second half, and based on what we talked about at halftime, I would still say that they were more disciplined penalty-wise in the second half. It didn't look like they had as many of those miscues like they did in the first half, but still the turnovers were still a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, and there were some mistakes. There was a holding penalty there down towards the end. Fort Morgan came out, I think, from half with a message that we need to dominate, and they did on that first drive. And then Northridge got that nice long pass, perfectly thrown, and that kind of put us back in a funk a little bit there. And I think we got a lot of work to get ready for Longmont next week.
Yeah.
As you can tell, Kevin trying not to slow down. He was standing out in the cold for most of the game, so appreciate your efforts down there. In the opening half, the Mustangs got 1-yard touchdown runs from Isaac Linker and Daniel Nadvaz on short fields, preceded by a bad snap over the punter's head 2 minutes into the game, which made it 2-0 at the time. It was 16-0 at the break. And then Fort Morgan got a Danny Nadvaz 2-yard touchdown run in the third quarter. And 17 seconds later, it was a 72-yard scoring pass by Chance Eben of Northridge to Kyler Warner, making it 23-7. Fort Morgan would cap off the scoring with another touchdown and safety. The touchdown coming from Isaac Linker, a second from a yard away. And then the second safety of the game as the Mustangs won their 4th consecutive game on Northern Conference play, and they're now sitting at 6-3 overall. Northridge at 1-3 and 2-7 on the year. Brian, I believe I did say during the game that normally the Mustangs win if they meet 80% right of your nickel package, because we know that one of them, the turnovers, which was part of your nickel package, was not met. Let's look at the other 4.
Right, and they had the first one has come out focused, and they did that. They came out that way. Even in the second half, they came out focused. Put some pressure on Chance Eben. They did that. They got to him a couple of different times there, made him rush some passes. Number 3 was to win the turnover battle, and they lost that one big time. I think it was owed it 3-0 there in favor of Fort Morgan, which is not good. Then the 4th one was know where number 10 is, and they did keep a pretty good jump on him, except on that he was the one that got that touchdown.
Yeah, Kayla Warner. Yep.
Right. And then number 5, get Sterling Sharp some reps. They got him some tonight, got him a few, but Danny Namara was the workhorse tonight, that's for sure.
All right, let's run through the numbers here. First for the visiting Grizzlies, they were held in check on the ground. Chance Eben, the quarterback, did have 5 carries in the game for 0 yards. Kaylor Warner had 2 for a -3. Some of these numbers sound like last week against Thompson Valley. Cord Cunningham had 1 for 1. Jonathan Morado had 1 for a -3. Devin Lunsford, though, he certainly was the most successful for Northridge. He had 9 carries for 50 yards. So he had a lot more yardage than the other 4 combined. Now, the passing game was obviously limited there for Northridge. Chance Eben was 2 out of 10 for 84 yards, but did have that 72-yard scoring pass to Kaylor Warner. And then it was Warner who threw a halfback pass himself. He was 0 out of 1. So you look at total yards for the Northridge offense, and they were unofficially at 134. For the Mustangs, Isaac Linker had 5 carries in the game for 6 yards, but 2 of them were 1-yard touchdown runs. Jacob Ortega had some decent carries down the stretch. He had 8 carries for 36 yards. John Hokenettle, 11 carries unofficially for 88 yards. Sterling Sharp had 8 carries for 39. J.P. Hamer, 4 for 16. And Daniel Narvaez, 27 carries unofficially for 176 yards. Isaac Linker through the air did throw for only 66 yards in the game. He was 4 out of 13 with 1 interception. McBride had 2 receptions, as did Luis Garcia. So the Mustangs, man, they ran the football extremely well. I mean, they totaled over 300 yards, well over 300 yards of offense between Hokenettle and Narvaez alone on the ground. They went for 264. So about 350 yards of total offense tonight for the Mustangs, more than double Northridge's total. All right, that means it's time for the Mustang Player of the Game. Mustang Player of the Game brought to you by Transwest Chevrolet Buick, serving Northeast Colorado, now located in Fort Morgan and Sterling. They've got a great selection of new and used vehicles. Stop by and take a test drive at Transwest Chevrolet Buick. And we've already had our mini conference here for the second straight week. Narvaez went well over 100 last week, but this time, again, he did that on 14 carries. And those conditions were a lot more pleasant weather-wise under these frigid conditions on a frigid Friday. 27 carries, 176 yards. Did have his issues a couple of times hanging on to the football, but when you carry it 27 times in this weather for 176 yards, he's our Transwest Chevrolet Buick Player of the Game. And Kevin, season boils down to 2 to 2.5 hours of football next Friday against Longmont.
Right, and as you guys alluded to during the broadcast, the playoffs basically start next week because it's do or die for both Longmont and Fort Morgan. The loser's going to be turning in gear the following Monday, and the winner's going to be going off to having that home game as the league champion. But, you know, there's no guarantees there going into state because there's a lot of good teams out there. But I'd rather have those chances and see Fort Morgan beat Longmont next week and get in there. Yeah,
without a doubt. And, Brian, can we say that if the Mustangs play next week like they did tonight, it might actually not be enough?
No, if they play like this tonight, Longmont will have their way with them with 3 turnovers. And they came in critical positions down in the red zone. Fort Morgan should have had another at least 2 touchdowns on the board. But if they do this next week against Longmont, Longmont will be the conference champions, and Fort Morgan will be hanging it up. But if we can see the team that played that first half at Holy Family, they should be able to handle Longmont.
Or the second half at Centaurus, or throughout, well, we can't say the whole Silver Creek game because there were so many penalties in that game. But however, we can point to several instances. If they can play the type of defense they have, especially in the last 14 quarters, where they've allowed a total of 14 points, 1 per quarter, it's a state championship type of defense. They'll have to bring that next week and eliminate any offensive mistakes against the Longmont Trojans. Again, you can follow us on Twitter at B106 and our B106 Facebook page as well. And we'll be here next Friday when the Mustangs take on the Longmont Trojans. Outstanding job, as always, by our sound engineer and producer, Blake Boyer. For Kevin Rohde and Brian Nickel, I'm John Beltran. Hopefully on Facebook Live, issues on Facebook Live tonight, pregame, postgame on Military Appreciation Night. The final score, Fort Morgan 32, Northridge 7. You've been listening to Mustang Football on Morgan County's B106 and B106.net.